Hello, everyone. My name is Ida Thomas, and I'm one of the lead tutors at enlightenedtutors.com. I'm really excited today to jump into this lesson about inferencing, and I'm also really excited because this is our third webinar in our Enlightened Tutors webinar series. So let's jump into it. Before I get into my lesson, I just really want to talk about our website so that you know where to go in order to visit to find more webinars like this, as well as link to our tutoring services. Our website is www.enlightenedtutors.com. You won't be sorry for clicking. Now, here we go. Our big question for the day is, what are inferences? An inference is an educated guess you make about what is happening based on evidence as well as prior knowledge. We actually make inferences every single day. We just don't call them inferences. For example, if you're walking down the street and you see a person with their head down and you see tears near their eyes, you might infer that they're sad. That person didn't go up to you and say, "Hey, I'm sad, help me out." But just based on the fact that you saw that there were tears in their eyes and that their head was down, you could figure out that they were sad just because you had that evidence in front of you and the prior knowledge that people who are sad usually cry a little bit and have their head down. So it's amazing how many inferences we actually make in a day without even realizing it. In a way, it's sort of like a survival tool because there's so much information in the world that isn't just told to us that we need to figure out in the moment in order to navigate what's going on around us. Just like the real world, literature uses inferences because, as we know, literature mimics real life. So, when we are trying to make inferences in literature, we take the text evidence as well as our real world knowledge to figure out what is occurring. We can figure out all sorts of stuff with inferencing in literature. We can figure out character thoughts, feelings, personality, emotions, what's going on in a moment, all sorts of amazing things just through inferencing. You should think of inferencing as being like a detective. You're picking up on clues the author gives you in order to solve the mystery of what they're trying to tell you. Now we're going to jump into some examples because this is going to be how we actually apply what I was just explaining. Example 1. Sarah walked into school later than normal. She had bags under her eyes and kept yawning throughout class. Hmm. So, first I'm going to take my evidence in order to understand the situation. My evidence is that Sarah was late to school, has bags under her eyes, and keeps yawning. Interesting. So now I'm going to take what I know just by being a human being in this world. People who have bags under their eyes and keep yawning are usually tired. So now taking that evidence and combining it with what I know, I'm going to make an inference. And I bet you already made your inference before I even got to it because I know that your mind is quick and it's moving. The inference that we can make is that Sarah is tired. All right. So now that we've warmed up with this first example, we're going to go on to a next example that's a little more challenging. "Who broke my vase?" Mama yelled out throughout the house. Carla rolled her eyes and yelled back, "It was probably the dog, Mom." Jim felt his face flush as he continued to do the dishes. He became very focused on his task, hoping if he scrubbed enough, maybe the feelings rising in his stomach would go away. Hmm. There's a lot going on in this example, and we're going to break it down the same way we did with example 1. Our text evidence is that Mama is trying to figure out who broke her vase. Carla rolls her eyes and tells her the dog did it. Jim's face flushes and he has weird feelings in his stomach. So this is a situation where we can actually pull out a lot of information just from this short text. So what I know is that parents usually get really upset when something breaks. People who roll their eyes are usually annoyed, and people who have weird feelings in their stomach and faces flush after hearing something might be guilty or nervous. So, based on all this information, we can make a few inferences. The first one being, Mama is upset. Maybe that vase was important to her. Another inference we can make is, Carla is annoyed at the situation. And she's probably one of those teenagers who is just like, oh my gosh, what is going on here? Like, we can just tell based on her personality in this moment. And lastly, inference 3, and probably the most important inference that you should make from this, is that Jim broke the vase and he is feeling guilty about it. Like I mentioned before, the author didn't tell us any of these things, but they showed us through their words. And we were able to take text evidence, combine it with our prior knowledge in order to make these inferences. Ready for example number 3 in our last example? I know you are. So here's example number 3. At school, Everyone knew Lily as top boss. She always had on the latest designer shoes, her hair laid perfectly, everything about her was flawless. When she spoke, everyone listened. No one knew that Lily often returned to a home filled with cracked, peeling walls, an empty refrigerator, and a note from her mom explaining she would be home late. This afternoon, Lily sat in the one chair that wasn't broken in her living room and cried while doing her homework. So before I even jump to the part where I break down the evidence and then my information that I already know and tell you what I inferred based on this information, I just want you to take a moment to look at this again. There's a lot of information in here that is going to lead us to what our inference is. Think about what's going on with Lily in school, and then think about what's going on with Lily at home. Okay, now I'm going to jump in to my analysis of this example. My text evidence is that Lily is top boss at school, wears fancy sneakers, everyone listens to her. At home, things are not the same. Her mom isn't home, the fridge is empty, she sits in one chair that isn't broken. What I know is that people who wear designer clothes usually have money. Designer sneakers show people you have money to spare. However, usually when someone's home has cracked walls, broken furniture, and no food, that person does not have much money. People who don't have much money might be embarrassed to tell others about their situation. So all of this information that I know gives me a lot of information about our character, Lily. Lily uses designer shoes to hide the fact that she is poor and not doing so well. Her school personality covers up what is actually going on. She's also probably covering up all of the negative emotions that she has more often as well. Inferencing, of course, is a very important tool for us to use in literature and again in real life. Here are the key takeaways you need in order to be a master inferencer. Key point number one, remember the best authors show us what they want us to know rather than tell us. Key point two, we use our text evidence and our own real world knowledge to figure out the clues the author gives us. And the major and most important key is that you have all the tools you need. Your book and your amazing mind to make great inferences based on the text. Thank you guys. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and if you want to see more videos like this and much more, please visit us at www.enlightentutors.com. Thank you for listening. Have a great one. Stay safe. And remember that Enlightened Tutors is always here for you. Bye.